Now, your professors will always tell you the students that do really well at uni are the ones that turn up to every class, and that's what you need to do too if you want to be like them. And I'm not disagreeing, going to class is really important, but there's a lot of other things you need to be doing too if you want a real chance of succeeding at uni. In this video, I'm going to share with you 7 of the best tips I picked up while at university and really wish someone had told me back when I started. The tips I'm going to share with you in this video should help you to feel more organized, work smarter, and ultimately put you in the position to get better grades. Alright, so my first tip is to make an assessment list. An assessment list is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's a list of assessment you need to complete throughout the semester, which will contribute to your final grade. While it sounds super simple, this list is actually probably one of the most useful things you'll create all semester, because when you create it in the way I'll show you in a second, it acts as a sort of guide and calendar for what you should be working on each week of the semester. Alright, so the first step in creating this list is getting on Google and searching for your university's academic calendar. Using this calendar, we want to create a week-by-week list of dates for the whole semester. Once you've done this, the next step is to find out where all the information about course assessment is located within your university's website. This is often called the course profile or the course outline. Now that you've found where your university keeps the course outlines, search up your first course. On this page, you should be able to see all the details about the different assessment items you need to complete during that course. Now, using the week-by-week list we just created using the academic calendar, input the name, weighting, and due date of each assessment item you've got for that course. Okay, so now that you've done this for one course, all you need to do is repeat it for your other courses, and you'll have a full outline that you can use to follow through the semester so you know what's coming up. Also, I just want to add here that I would encourage you to make this list digitally, so if your professor extends any due dates, you can easily update the list. My second tip is to make really clear solutions to the example problems you solve in class as soon as possible after the first time you do them in class with your teacher. One of the worst things at the end of the semester is having to relearn content you've done weeks or even months ago at the start of the semester, and now you've got no idea what's going on. Putting together a really detailed explanation of how to solve a tutorial problem straight after you've done it will help you understand the problem better at the time, but you'll also be thanking yourself so much because at the end of the trimester, it'll be so much easier to revise. A few of the different ways you can go about adding more detail to your problem solutions is through writing down all the formulas you use, defining any of the variables in any of those formulas, adding any of the charts or tables you take values from during that question, and also adding in any of the explanations or definitions from your lecture slides or online sources you've used to understand that question. The next tip I have for you is to learn how to use design and other computer programs as soon as possible. One of the major benefits of learning how to use design programs while you're at university is that you can use them to check your answers when doing practice questions, but also when doing assignments. For example, questions that ask you to draw shear force diagrams, bending moment diagrams, and deflected shapes can all be done using structural analysis software. Likewise, when you're learning how to solve trusses by hand using the method of joints or the method of sections, you can build your exact truss in these programs and find out what the axial tension or compression in each member is straight away so you know what you're doing is correct. Besides just getting better marks on your assignments now and learning the content better for university, in the long run, you're going to be so much more experienced at using these programs because of all the extra models you've built. And I can tell you now as a graduate that you're expected to have a pretty reasonable amount of working knowledge on these programs you're exposed to at university, because this is one of the tasks you'll be assigned to do as a graduate by your senior engineers. Okay, so my fourth tip is to outsource information. Sometimes when it comes to understanding a concept you're struggling with or figuring out how to solve a tutorial problem you're stuck on, the learning material you're provided by your professor or tutor just isn't enough. A big mistake I've made in the past is stopping or moving on from something I didn't understand and just forgetting about it. One of the best things I took away from uni is how to find information, and there's so many easy ways to do it. You can ask your classmates and see if they know, Google it on your laptop, watch a YouTube video, find a website online that explains it, or even find a free textbook online. Take for example if you're having trouble in a math course and you're stuck on a derivative or integral question. If you type that exact problem into Google, you would land on a bunch of websites that literally break down the whole procedure with every formula and step involved on how to solve it. But I'll be the first to say that it's definitely not always that easy. So one of the main tricks when it comes to outsourcing information is to be patient, because often it takes surfing through a bunch of different websites to piece together enough information to understand whatever it is you're needing to know. Alright, so my fifth tip is to teach your friends. Often a great way to understand and really consolidate information in your own head is to explain it to someone else. When teaching others, you always learn which bits of the content you understand really well, and more importantly, you learn which bits of the content you don't understand really well and you need to focus more on. Often in these scenarios where you're teaching your friends, you're also studying with them. When you're studying with friends, as long as you don't get caught up talking, you can actually learn a lot from these sessions. Often you'll learn about other things you should review too, you'll find out what others are struggling with, and from those things you'll learn what you need to be extra careful on. Okay, so my next tip is don't multitask. Distractions are a big killer when it comes to learning any new skill and can be especially dangerous when you're trying to wrap your head around a new complex topic you've just started in class. A few of the things I'll suggest you should do is put your phone on Do Not Disturb, don't have any videos just playing in the background, and don't have any music that has you singing along constantly while you're trying to study. Stopping multitasking also applies to removing any of the distractions that are around you when you're studying. So this means you should move away from any conversations you keep overhearing, any people who are constantly moving around you, because all these types of things are trying to grab your attention. If you can't help it and you need to study in a particularly noisy environment, I would suggest using headphones and having some instrumental music playing in the background. And don't worry, it doesn't have to be basic elevator music. There's plenty of good chill study playlists that you can get access to for free on YouTube and Spotify. One particular playlist I like to use while I'm working is the Lo-Fi Hip Hop Radio. Check it out and see if you like that one, but there's plenty of other ones you can choose from too. Okay, so my final tip for you is to actively revise. What I mean by actively revise is to practice questions again by hand instead of just reading over them. When you actually go through the motions of solving it by hand, it really tests you as opposed to just reading it. Because when you do this, you have to actually think about where those numbers are coming from and which formulas to use and how to apply them. This simple revision tip will help you not to miss out on any of those easy marks from things you've definitely covered in your notes. Alright, so there you have it. That was 7 of the most useful study tips I picked up while at university. I really hope you found some value in this video and incorporate some of these tips into your own study habits. Also, if you're interested in learning about how I consistently went from knowing absolutely nothing at the beginning of a course to mastering it come the final exam, in this video here, I talk about the full note-taking process I used while I was at university. Okay, that's it guys. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.